Hello and welcome back to the Vibe Online podcast. Wherever you are listening to this, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Today we are back, Karen and I. Karen is back from Cyprus on a diving trip.
Yeah.
She is. How was it, Karen?
Do you know what? It was really good. I had some really hairy moments where I was absolutely terrified, and it was probably the most tiring 2 weeks I've ever done in my life. And for those that have had a baby that has never slept when it was young, it's worse than that. That's literally the only way I can describe that 2 weeks is how exhausted I was.
Hey, well, look at it this way. Thank God you're coming back to the UK and you're not exactly going back to work, are you?
No, I am not. I am not. Literally this week coming, I hand everything back over, all my passes and everything. I'm like, that's it. The final D-Day is here. So yeah, very
Bloody
exciting.
amazing.
Yeah.
So amazing. Amazing, amazing. Okay, so right, today what we're going to be chatting about is something slightly different, but something that we feel is really relevant to share. And this past weekend, a bunch of the guys from our community and the much wider community, about 12 of them, they headed to Wales this weekend. Now, there's a big reason behind why this movement is happening. Now, two of the guys instigated this, and I think bringing males up within this industry is really important at the moment because within the industry that we work within, um, it's pretty female dominated, I would say. Would you agree, Karen?
Yeah, I think somebody recently said that it's about 80% females work in network
Wow.
marketing. So it's huge, which is probably very different to the corporate world where it's normally the opposite way, isn't it? But it's very male dominant, and certainly that's something I've experienced throughout my career, being in the military, etc., and then the civil service. Is it's all very, very male dominant.
Mm.
You are in the minority if you're a female. So to actually come into an industry for us being females is really nice to have this strength in numbers, if you like, within the female industry, the female environment. However, what we are all very aware of the fact that the men need the recognition and support also, as well as females. And it's it's very different to the corporate life where in certain circumstances that the dominant male environments don't support the females in the way that they possibly should or could do or could have done over time. So this has been recognized here within the network marketing industry, and especially within our business and global community, that it is very important to support the guys here and allow guys to be themselves, be open and honest, and just be themselves and not be scared to be themselves. And we all know, if you don't know, then you've been burying your head in the sand, that men's mental health is a huge subject right now. So
Mm.
that's one of the reasons behind, as you said, Meg, two people within the pillars of the community have decided to get the men together and actually focus on them and allow them to grow and develop. And it's actually okay for men to be in touch with their emotions and maybe have a crap day and talk about it, or have a day where they just feel completely overwhelmed or anxious and they don't know how to deal with it, or they've never known how to approach it or speak to people in the past, where now
Mm.
they have that space to do so. um and obviously this weekend been incredible because your partner Mike is also away with them, which is amazing. So yeah, please
Yeah.
share, where are they this weekend?
Yeah, like, well, exactly like you said, I think you just introduced it so well there. Like in traditional workplaces, it's typically male dominant. But there is no aspect of personal growth or self-development or, actually speaking about emotions and mental health. And, men do tend to suffer in silence with a lot of it. And within this industry, like we just mentioned, I mean, this industry makes 20% of millionaires worldwide. They come from network marketing, and it's very more female millionaires than any other industry. so they are dominating the market. But then when we allow the men to kind of step into themselves and into their own, I think because women naturally have that sense of empathy and emotion, because network marketing is very much like building trust and relationships and things like that. So it tends to be a bit easier for women. So it's nice that we've kind of flipped that on the back foot, but then we also need to make space and inclusion so that men have that safety for them to be themselves. And like, yeah, Mike went away. They're all in North Wales over this weekend. He's actually just driving back now. It's about five odd hour drive for him to come back to Surrey this way. And I've chatted to him briefly over the weekend, and he just says how amazing it is that they can all just get together and support one another and just talk like men. You know, be within their masculine energy, like in the most caring and positive and supportive way that they possibly can be with one another, and building that kind of bond so that they know that they have that trust between them, and that they can also thrive within their own businesses. Because, you know, especially because we're in the online space, authenticity and being ourselves is a really huge part of that, and being able to build that trust. So it can be for men a little bit, I suppose, daunting, as it is for anyone that comes into the online space, to
Um,
show and be themselves and be open about, you know, how they're feeling, how they're thinking, exactly like you just said, Karen. So they were all in North Wales over this weekend, about 12 of them. And on Saturday, so they met up on the Friday, they had a lovely little Airbnb with like a hot tub and all this kind of stuff. So proper lads weekend. And then on the Saturday morning, they climbed up Mount Triffin, which is in Snowdonia National Park. And I've watched some of the videos. If guys, whoever's listening to this, if you follow any of the guys in the community, Tristan, my partner Michael, Andrew from Unfold Your Freedom, Lewis, Rogers, Frank, whoever it is, Steve, whoever you've been following, you can see from their stories and their pages that it was a challenge, like for them to do that together. But I think it's lovely that they had that activity, because it's a real opportunity for them to challenge themselves and also help each other out and step up into a bit of a leadership as well, I suppose. So those kind of weekends, although they don't seem like a lot, they really can be groundbreaking.
yeah, and I know we speak a lot about the offline events, don't we? And how they are very different to the online space, and sitting in front of a computer, speaking to people all the time. It is really important to go and meet people face to face, and just feel that normal human presence, and have the sort of deeper connection. And I did actually watch Mike's story when he said there was a few of them absolutely terrified of heights. So
Yeah.
as long as they're still going away doing something that's fun, but yet they're still pushing boundaries and pushing themselves way outside their comfort zone, which is something that we do very often every day in here. And it's really nice the fact that Mike obviously talks openly about that, where most men have the ego thing, don't they, where it's like, when nothing scares me, nothing phases me, when actually when you allow them to be vulnerable and open and talk about it, it becomes more apparent that actually they're just normal humans just like us. I mean, girls obviously talk about it way more and much easier than guys do, but it's nice the fact that they are all at that place now where they have that safe, secure environment where they can talk openly with no fear of judgment and no fear of anybody, like, taking the piss out of them or saying horrible
Mm.
comments, or everything that everybody's experienced over the years. And I think this is one of the reasons why men don't talk about specific things, is because they fear the judgment. So then the ego kicks in, and they
Yeah.
take a battle there, where actually the more you allow your barriers to come down and be open and talk about stuff, the more you'll connect with people. And then the boys, obviously, now as much as there's 12 of them, we have a community of hundreds of thousands of people across the globe. This will only get bigger and grow
Oh my
more.
God. Yeah. It's going to ripple throughout
Yeah,
every single community, and also really show other men how they can succeed and how they can thrive within being themselves. I think it's been such a generational thing, isn't it? Because I think like lots of men were kind of brought up with this stiff upper lip and like, no, you don't show emotion, you stand tall, you stand strong,
yeah,
you know, you are the man,
yeah,
and that's just what you do. But we're in such a different age now, guys. Like, we are human beings that have emotions and,
Yeah.
thoughts and feelings and opinions that are so valid and so important. So, like, when Cameron mentions the ego, we don't mean that in a bad thing. If anybody understands the ego, that is our protection and our coping mechanism of like, this is my face because I'm uncomfortable. I'm
Mm.
uncomfortable because you're asking me a question that I've never been asked before and I don't know how to answer it, or whatever it might be that makes them feel uncomfortable. So, what these guys are doing are laying laying a pavement for men to understand that it's okay. Like, you have feelings. You can have a shit day. Okay. Like, you're trying to build a business, you're trying to change your life, and us women will be very open about it. Like,
Yeah.
but men can often just kind of try and deal with their own stuff internally by themselves. And so being able to facilitate this kind of space to show them and show other men out there that actually it's all right, lads, like, we can be normal people and we can thrive in ourselves. It doesn't have to be this thing that our parents or our grandparents taught us. You can just be yourself and allow you to have that safety in who you are.
Yeah, definitely. And it's really important to just reiterate all that, isn't it? And I'm sure, as Tristan and all the other lads, Mike and Ryan and everybody share their journey and share their stories, this will become more apparent to other guys that will probably want to get more involved, because it's something that a lot of men are searching for but don't know where to look,
Mm,
and they don't know how to start. And really, I think the most important thing is just to reach out to somebody who's experienced the same as you, or somebody whose life inspires you, or you want to know how they have become the person they are now and continue to work on themselves. And there's so much out there. Like, when Tristan first came into this business, he did a lot of work on his own personal development, and came from a state of quite severe depression, which he talks about quite openly, as do the other men in the community now, because everybody has a story, and what they've learned since coming into this business is that it's okay to talk about it and it's okay to share, because by doing that, that's how you help other people.
mm.
That's all really what this business is about, is helping others.
Yeah, that vulnerability, it not only helps others, but it helps yourself. Like, you're releasing that. Think about all of that pain and that trauma and that upset or whatever you are feeling that is caught within you. By sharing it and or doing the inner work, you're not only able to help other people because you've experienced it, you're also helping yourself and helping yourself elevate. And you cannot gain growth or success without being vulnerable and being truthful to who you are.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just got to own up to that, right? So it's great that we've got a space for them, and that they're facilitating that. And Ryan, so for people that obviously probably follow us, know who Ryan is. Ryan started this business when he was 24.
Yes.
24. He's very, very, very successful now, and he doesn't need to do the business anymore. He's early 30s now, but he's come back into it because he wants to support and help people in a much deeper level than just making an income online. And he went to spend some time with the guys on last night, Saturday evening, and they were talking openly and sharing things. I don't know the whole lowdown. I don't know if I ever will, but I got a bit of it from Mike. But it sounds all incredibly positive and very open, and a safe space for them to share. He also shared about the event that's coming up in February, the
Yes.
Gran Canaria event, that's happening within the community. God, we've got so many events next year, as you guys probably heard from our
Mhm.
previous episodes. But yeah, there's another one that's happening in February, beginning of Feb, Gran Canaria. So that's going to be a phenomenal time as well.
Yeah, that sure will be. We actually talked about that. We have a call today actually to learn more about that event, which will
Yeah, we
be
do.
great. I'm very excited for that. But yeah, I think the boys have had a great weekend, and there's just going to be so much more to come from this. Um, and again, Tristan and Rye, who are the two that are sort of leading this opportunity for the men to get together and become vulnerable, will just, as you say, ripple, and it will become bigger, and there will be more, no doubt, across the globe for
Mm,
for males. It's great getting together sort of with everybody, but also it's, everybody loves boy time and everybody loves girl time, and it's really important that we don't lose that.
mm.
because we are a very different species in the in the end of the day. And yeah, it's just nice to be able to just for them to go and just break free and be themselves without any judgment or fear of having that. And like the whole ego thing, like you said, it's like when I was in the CrossFit gym, when I was doing all my competing and stuff like that, and it was a big thing that stuck with me. They used to always say, "Leave your ego at the door," and I never used to understand what that meant. But really, in the reality of it all is like, don't expect yourself to be the best all the time, and don't
Mm.
let your ego get to you if somebody is different, better, stronger, faster, whatever that may be, because we're all here at different levels. So you just have to leave it be and just go and experience what it is, and let it be that moment, and see what comes of it, really. Because yeah, your ego can be a bitch sometimes if you don't let it go.
It can, and we've all got one. It's not no individual way. It's all part of our whole anatomy, and yeah,
Yeah.
doing that work on it is a really big thing. But very excited to see how this whole movement is going to snowball throughout the world now, because it's
Mm.
going to be phenomenal. It really, really is. And if you are listening to this and you are a male and you're interested in getting involved with the group, reach out to them. Reach
Yeah.
out to Tristan. Reach out to Mike. Reach out to Ryan. Whoever you have connected with, then reach out to them and see how you can get involved. And if you're looking to get involved in the business, you can also speak to Karen and I, of course. And if you are a female and you think, actually, my partner could really do with this,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
my partner could honestly really do with this. He's been looking for something. He needs a space to feel seen and heard as a male. Then this is a space for him. Reach out to one of us. As I said, connect with one of the lads as well. And honestly, welcome to absolutely anyone that's willing to want to go on this journey.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're here to share it all.
It's
But
a time for change, guys. It is a time for change. So yeah, if you want to get involved, then do it. Just do it. You don't want to be left behind, for sure.
definitely not. 2024 could be that year. It just changes your whole life.
Absolutely.
So
Okay then. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. I hope it's also giving you some value and made you think about how the males show up in our lives, and also have some consideration for what they may need or their thoughts or what might be happening with them, and just show up and support them and know that they have someone that is there to support them also. So yeah, I hope you enjoy this episode. If you've got any comments, feedback, topics that you want us to chat about in the future, please drop us a message, and we will be catching you next week.
we'll see you next week.